Did you know that in Mombasa there's a neighbourhood that has a history quite unlike any other place in Kenya? Well, the area called Frere Town was once a settlement of freed slaves, and this history still shapes the identity of some of the people living there today. Let me explain why. In the late 19th century, Britain, as it was expanding across East Africa, was trying to curb the slave trade. They were intercepting ships that were carrying enslaved people to Zanzibar and other ports across the Indian Ocean. Some of those freed captives were settled on a plot of land that was run by missionaries. That was Frere Town. Here they were given land, schooling, work, but they also had to navigate the trauma of what they experienced and the loss of their homeland, of their heritage and their families. And they were pushed to abandon their religion, their culture, their languages in exchange for a more civilized Christian life. Over time, Frere Town forged the identity of its inhabitants. But when Kenya became independent, the special governance of the settlement fell away. And Freretownians struggled to find their place in the new Kenya. They didn't belong to any of the tribes. They didn't have an ancestral home in Kenya. All they had was Frere Town. And so until today, they are fighting to cling on to this neighborhood and to the places that hold their history. Like this church built in 1889 by freed slaves. Almost all descendants still come here to be baptized, married and buried. Or this bell tower, which was once used to warn residents of slave ships entering the creek. These are all more than just places. One historian calls them repositories for their memories. These are symbolic arenas where people go to gain a physical connection with their past. Frere Town is a unique community with a unique history. But it's also a reminder of something larger, of how the forces of history can shape identity long after the events themselves have passed. And their story opens the door to the wider legacies of slavery on the Kenyan coast. Legacies that are profound, that are often unspoken, and that are not yet fully acknowledged. For more stories on East Africa's past, follow me.